I wanted to start out our discussion on effects in Avid Media Composer with a very common situation that all editors run into, and that is when the client gives them a logo for them to use in their project. In most cases, editors try to just take that logo and import it into Media Composer to start working with it. But in most cases, you need to do a little bit of work on that logo before we get into the importing stage of getting that file into Media Composer to dropping it into your timeline. So let's take a look at this logo that I've created for the purposes of this lesson. It's a generic company logo, as you can see. And the first step that you always must take with every logo, no matter what it is to import it into an application like Photoshop to get some more information about it. So let's do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on the logo and I'm simply going to say Open with Adobe Photoshop. Photoshop will open. And the first thing I'm going to do when the logo appears is I'm going to navigate up to Image and I'm going to come down to the image size. Now the image size is important to know because you're going to need to be able to compare that with the raster dimension of your project in Media Composer to decide how big you need to make this logo. For right now, I'm going to Command and Tab into Media Composer, and I'm going to head up to my Format tab, and you'll see that the preset is set to be 720p at a raster dimension of 1280 by 720. That tells me the width and height that I need to make my logo. Now, I'm going to hide Media Composer again and come back into Photoshop because I'm in a situation that's a little bit advantageous for the purposes of what I'm doing. You'll see that the resolution of this logo is 300 dpi. Now, when you have a logo and you want to import it into Avid Media Composer, the resolution of that logo needs to be 72 dots per inch. How that's advantageous for us right now is that I can increase the size, the width and height of this image and lower the resolution and still keep the quality crystal clean. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the resolution of the image 72 dots per inch. You'll see that what Photoshop does is it adjusts the width and height according to the current resolution. But you'll remember I said that we can blow this image up about 3 times bigger than it was, compensating for the fact that we've lowered the resolution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the height of this image 720 pixels. I'm not going to worry about the width right now. We can adjust that in just a second. I'm now simply going to say OK, and the image is now the correct size, the correct height for the raster dimension we're working in inside of Avid Media Composer. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the width of the canvas to match the 1280 width of my Media Composer raster dimension so that my image size matches my Media Composer project. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that the background color matches the background color of my image, which in this case it does. I'm going to navigate up to Image, I'm going to come down to Canvas Size, and I'm going to change the canvas size's pixels from 1060 to be 1280. You'll see now that I'm ready to go to take this image and import it into Media Composer to work with it in any project that I happen to be working on.